There's a very specific kind of book I love. Not the polished, literary, this will change your life type. Not the quiet, award winning, everybody sips tea while discussing the themes type. I mean that slightly unhinged type. The ones that feel like they are written at 3 a.m., fueled by energy drinks, anxiety, and a genuine love of monsters. Books that probably shouldn't work but absolutely do. Our Devils, link down below, is one of those books. And this isn't a review, by the way. This is me grabbing you by the shoulder and yelling in your face, you specifically, yes, you, read this. I'm Darv James. This is the Bald Book Geek. How is everyone? If you want to support this channel, there's membership, Patreon, all of that stuff, as well as Substack and Ko-fi. But a like, a comment, and a hype works wonders. So, let's go, shall we? Let me explain the vibe first, because the vibe matters more than the plot. The plot, technically, is simple. Aaron just wants to do his thing, exist peacefully like a normal person, a tired human being. Instead, he gets dragged into nightmare creature nonsense. Sleep paralysis demons, wild devils, government agencies, hyperviolence, chaos. And the only reason he survives any of it is because a tiny, freaky little gremlin of a demon decides to basically adopt him. Which is already a sentence that sounds like a joke. A sleep paralysis demon becomes your emotional support goblin, but somehow it works. And here's the thing, a lot of urban fantasy says it's chaotic, very few actually are. Most dark urban fantasies are still weirdly clean, everybody's cool, everyone's competent, everyone has leather jackets and perfect one-liners. Our Devils is not that. This book feels like, what if the apocalypse happened, but you were still kind of a mess? Aaron isn't some chosen one, he's not secretly special, he's not dramatically brooding on rooftops. He's just tired, confused, and making bad decisions, trying to survive adulthood and demons at the same time. Which honestly feels accurate, because if monsters showed up tomorrow, I wouldn't be heroic. I would be like, can this wait? I've got work at 7. And that's where this book really clicked for me. It understands something a lot of genre fiction forgets. You can fight demons and still worry about rent. You can battle cosmic horror and still be emotionally stunted. You can survive a world and still be kind of an idiot. And that mix, that's funny, but like genuinely funny, like quaps. No full sarcasm. But that's, well, it's kind of got that exhausted, slightly feral humour of, well, this is my life now. Cool, great, fantastic, love that for me. It's the kind of humour of someone who already, well, who's already too tired to panic, which is deeply relatable. But it's not just comedy, because this book gets violent. It gets violent. And when it gets weird, it gets weird. Monsters aren't cute little mascot creatures. They're unsettling. Nightmare fuel. There's like Digimon meets John dies at the end energy. Like, what if childhood monster friend stories grew up, got drunk, and developed trauma? That's the tone, which means that's also a compliment. So let's talk about the little monster for a moment. I love the little freak, genuinely. He's not the typical adorable sidekick. He's not a marketable plush. He's unsettling, gremlin energy, sleep paralysis creature shaped like anxiety, and yet he's weirdly sweet. It's that feral cat that bites you but follows you home kind of energy. The relationship between Aaron and this little creature is the emotional core. Not some epic prophecy, not romance, not destiny. Just, well, trying to figure out, two people trying to figure out how to survive together, and honestly, that kind of hits hard in the most epic fantasy friendships, because it feels messy and real. They don't instantly trust each other, they don't magically understand each other, they just kind of stumble into partnership, like roommates who accidentally become family. And structurally, This is something I really appreciate. The book doesn't waste your time. No endless lore dumps, no 40-page explanations of demon politics. It moves fast. Stuff happens constantly, but it never feels rushed at all. It just trusts you to keep up, which I love, because nothing feels as good as this to read in that sense. It builds up and it keeps you going. And nothing kills, like, chaotic horror comedy faster than someone stopping in the story to explain a magic system like it's a university lecture. I like this book is like, here's a demon. It's biting you. Deal with it. Perfect. No notes. And here's where I get slightly essay-y for a second, because I think one of the reasons Our Devils works so well is that underneath all the blood, jokes, and swearing, it's actually about growing up too late. It's about that horrible moment in your 20s when you realise, or your 30s, oh no, no one's coming to save me. I'm an adult. That's deeply unsettling. Aaron feels like someone who blinked and suddenly life got complicated. Responsibilities, consequences, and also demons trying to eat him, which feels metaphorical enough that it kind of hurts. The devils aren't just monsters, they feel like stress, trauma, and all the junk you thought you could ignore until they eventually kick your door in. So yeah, it's hyperviolent chaos, but there's also a heart under it, and that's why it sticks in the best way. It sticks with you. This is one of those books that feels dangerously rereadable, because it's not just there for the plot, you're there to hang on, to vibe with the characters, to watch those disasters, well, bumble through supernatural nonsense. It has this one more chapter at 2 a.m. energy, and I appreciate that. That kind where you look up and suddenly it's stupid o'clock and you made terrible life choices, which honestly is the highest compliment I can give. And who is this for then? Let's be real. If you like Digimon but darker and unhinged, John dies at the end, scrappy, messy protagonists, monster companions, horror mixed with stupid jokes and stories that don't take themselves too seriously but still hit emotionally, this is it. This is absolutely your thing. And if you want eloquent poise and quiet countryside symbolism, maybe not. If you want chaos gremlin urban fantasy with feelings, welcome home. And that's why this isn't a review, because reviews feel too polite, measured, objective. This isn't that. This is me saying some books feel manufactured, some feel algorithmically approved. Our Devil feels like someone who actually had fun writing it, and that energy is infectious because it reminds me of why I fell in love with weird fiction in the first place, not because it's respectable, but because it's alive, messy, a little gross, a little funny, a little heartfelt, like life, but with more demons. So yeah, if you're tired of safe fantasy, if you want something a little scrappy, strange and human, if you want sleep paralysis demon best friend, read Our Devils, trust me. This weird little book will, well, let this weird little book into your house. Worst case, you lose a few hours. Best case, you find your next favourite little chaotic series, which honestly is what we're all chasing anyway.